Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always wins. Come on, let's get into it. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me know if you can hear me out there in YouTube land. I think I'm having some technical difficulties as usual. Today my headset is messing up. You would never believe that these are Bose headsets, and I haven't had them that long. But if you're in YouTube land, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. You can hear me. All right, thanks, Brian. One side of my headset is not working, so I'm only hearing through one ear actually, which is not good. Odell said this intro better. Well, Odell, I don't know. It's a learning process. It's a learning process. Every day you try to get better at what you do, so you don't stay stagnant. You're always evolving. You're always changing. You're always trying to get better. Bless up, Kirk Badine, Odell, Joseph Brown, Brian Burke. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. We're going to talk Reggae Boyz football, but as you know, I have to jump into a couple of things first before I get to the main topic for the evening. And I have forgotten to put up the reminder for liking and subscribing and sharing. So I had to go back and do it. That's why I used to be pushed back the time by 15 minutes, because I want to make sure that I came in on time tonight, since the last time I was a little bit late and I got a lot of grief. Hey, people, see this, people? Odell just said this intro is better. Brian says in prefer the previous one. So it's the matter about people, you can't please everybody. So when the coach pick him team, we will start beat the coach. I love if we start beat the coach because you can't please everybody. This intro is a little bit different. The other intro had a combination of my niece and myself on it. This is a little bit different intro. And this is a more contemporary one. Getting used to. No, Odell, I'm not throwing words at anybody. I'm just talking in general. Each of us in our lives should always be assessing how we can get better at what we do, regardless of what that entails. And we should work to improve every single day. If you just sit on your laurels, then a lot of people are going to come and pass you by. Bless up, Chris. Bless up. Good evening. So you should always try to get better. A couple of things I want to touch upon. I was going to do a show today about on football around the Epstein situation. You know that Epstein was a renowned child molester who had a lot of famous people around his circles. And Pam Bondi, who was the U.S. Attorney General, had indicated that she had files and names and lists. And people are getting excited because they know that that person deal with people like Prince Andrew, Leon Black, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, all these individuals in the circle. The president was in his circle. You can see pictures of the president and him on dance floor and engaging, and they were friends until some real estate deal went bad, I was told. So, I read. So it was a bit surprising to hear her come out and says subsequently that there's no such list. And it does beg the question as to how come the list just that she mentioned in February that she had all of a sudden disappeared. I don't understand the thing there, but that's where it goes to conspiracy theory and deep state. But the good thing about it is that MAGA people are the ones who are all over her about it. So I was going to do a show today on that, and I started to put together, and then life got in the way, and I couldn't do it. So I said, I'm going to come back and do this, and maybe tomorrow I'll do that show, even just a little bit late. On other news, I got to talk about my beloved Arsenal for 2 seconds. I hear we're putting a bid for Madueke. I'm not sure if I'm totally happy. I think he's a good player. He's an England international, but we got to get Gokers across the line. We have Zubimendi across the line. I want Eze. Let's get Eze first and then Madueke if that's how we're going to do it. But we'll see what happens. He's a good player. I'm not going to beat him. He's a good player. Didn't score a lot of goals last year. Didn't play all the games because Chelsea team is... That's why I always said I didn't think Whisper should have gone to Chelsea. I think that was he may have got more money at Chelsea. He may have got more notoriety at Chelsea. He should have gone to Newcastle. Because he went to Newcastle and he recovers quickly from his injury and he was out for a year. They just bought Ilanga for 50-something million. I watched Ilanga play. I think Whisper has that potential to get to that level. He would have been much more closer to first-team football at Newcastle than at Chelsea. So you can't always run on the money because Chelsea, you can't get last night winners at Chelsea. Chelsea has bought so many players. I have no idea where they get all that money. But they're going to make money from the Club World Cup, right? Which I'll transition to, which is I watched today's semi-final. I haven't watched a lot of the World Cup games, but I did watch parts of the Chelsea game yesterday. And they're in the finals, obviously. And I watched Real Madrid against PSG today. PSG are good, real, real good. And it shows you that you don't have to have all stars or renowned stars in your team to do well. When they had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, the problem they had was none of those players play defense, people. And let's go back to my point. And Jamaica's going to see this when Mason Greenwood comes. I hate to say it, but none of those three play defense because they're all looking at each other to go get the ball because they are supposed to be the stars. This PSG team, that's a much more dominant team, a much better team. Everybody play defense. And when they have the ball, you can't get it off them. And they played inverted with Mendes, who is all over the field and is as quick as anything else. And Real Madrid gave away 2 goals today, but they look really poor. PSG was just so much a better team. So Chelsea will get a lot of money from this, which will also help them. They don't need more money, but they're going to get, at least 80 million to help with their transfer. And then we're going to give them another 55, like we give them 68 for Havertz. Not a good deal, not a good deal. Let me hear what you guys are saying. Brian Burke says, yes, it's okay, but I want Eze and Sesko or Gokares. Yeah, if we get Eze and Gokares, then I can live with the rest of it. I can live with getting Madueke. But everybody nowadays costs 55, 60. They make it seem like $60 million is chump change. What are we doing wrong, people? People throwing big, what's his name? Elon Musk is worth $300 billion. These Premier League teams just have money that they're just throwing around. For anybody now cost 60, 70 million, which was one time the zenith of what you could pay for a player. It's just amazing, actually. Bless up, Twain. Thanks for being here. Richard Green says, he probably the first team didn't receive it. It's hard to make Chelsea team. It's a possibility, Richard. But is it probable? I don't think it's a probability. They have so many players. We didn't talk about under 21 players. They just bought Gittins. They just bought Pedro. They had Neto. They had Madueke. They have Sterling. They have so many players. They have Modric, who is out for some drug reason. I mean, they have so many wingers. And that's not all of them, actually. I'm missing probably about 3 or 4. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, let's get into the Reggae Boyz. I won't spend a lot of time on the other topics, but I think it's going to be a really good Premier League season. Liverpool is well stacked. I think we will be stacked. I think Man U will get to be a much better place because they, if they have Cunha and they buy Mbueno and they get a few more players, maybe a couple of midfielders and another forward, they probably should bring Rashford back, even though he's probably in the outcast. If they bring him back, they'll be in a much better place. Much better place. I'm not sure why coaches like to cut off their hand to spite their face. Tell the player he can't come back, and I don't know what that means. It's kind of stupid. He has a contract. But anyway, Jackson off the bench. Yeah, Jackson is very raw, bro, man. He's very raw. But look, I think Whisper has a chance to he probably should do like Hutchinson did, actually. He probably should move. I know he's been injured and he's got to get back in, but Hutchinson took his career into his own hands, right? He was at Arsenal, didn't get playing time. Went to Chelsea, didn't get playing time. Went to the Championship on loan. did well. They bought him, and he was playing Premier League football, and he's going back to the Championship. But it shows you can make. He went to Ipswich, right? You can make progress in your career, and which is what I see Nwaneri doing. Because Nwaneri is saying, if I ain't getting playing time, even though I'm 18, I'm not signing a contract, and I have a year left, and everybody wants me. So in Whisper's case, he's not in a bargaining position because he had a bad injury. But let's hope he recovers really well, and let's hope that transition him well to get some first team football. Christian say, hey, Kranky, my mother say you should be a father, you know. That old woman, yeah, a sample, you know. What are you talking about, Chris? I'm confused. I'm confused, Chris. I'm not going to interpret that. I'm confused, Chris. Bless up 1-1. Thanks for being here. Yeah, no, I think he'll perform, Odell. The question is his injury, because those injuries can linger, right? Especially knee injuries. You don't want to have knee injuries that early in your career. Knee injuries are bad, frankly. It's always occurring. I've had like 4 knee surgeries. I know how knee injuries are, and I wasn't even really a good footballer. And I had like 4 of them because I wouldn't stop playing. And I don't think those surgeries helped me, frankly, to be honest, even though I supposedly had some of the better doctors. But I do think when you start having those problems, it's not a good thing. So hopefully what he does is train, put in the work, make sure he has the right doctors around him. And then when he goes to play, take his career into his own hands. If he can't get in the game time by end of the year, push to go someplace else, go it on loan, where he's guaranteed some playing time. It's important. No, I said 4 knee surgeries, Arnar. I don't have 4 knees. I had 4 knee surgeries. 2 on each knee, actually. But now, let's hope Whisper recovers well and does well. People, even when you see the request for the poll for you to hit the like button, you still don't want to hit the like button. You have 119 people, you have 57 likes. I find that really interesting, actually. Even when you're reminded, you say, nah, hit the like button. By the way, I'll start calling out people who use my material because TVJ called me out, said me use them thing and I give them credit. So I start give people credit, I start putting fair use things. So if people are using material and now give me credit, I'll start calling them out. Because people are just take what I say and just go run them one show. So I'll start calling them out. All right? I'll create war, even though I'm a peacemaker. Joseph Brown said, Whisper definitely should have went to Newcastle in hindsight. But before he was injured, he was not close to the first team at Chelsea. Even though his agent kept shouting the first team was turned. I said from day one, it was a bad idea. When you're making those decisions, you got to think ahead, right? So you may go to Chelsea and get more money because they pay money and they'll give you a long-term contract. So you have some security financially. But if you have confidence in your ability, and if you believe your ability can get you to the next level, you can always get insurance against injuries. So you may not have the assurance of a 7-8 year contract. You can always buy enough insurance to help protect you against injuries. So if you do get injured, you have some protection. Hopefully it's not career ending. But at Newcastle, who didn't have a lot of good wingers, I mean, why wouldn't he have gone to Newcastle? Right? Right now they went to buy Ilanga, who scored 6 goals last year for £55 million. That's crazy, people. That's how bad the market is. When you have less than 1 in 4 goal contribution and you getting 55 million for you have 6 goals and a few assists, and it doesn't make sense to me. That's why Madueke is a little bit different because you get less playing time than Ilanga did. But even then, and he can play right and left, which makes him very versatile for Arsenal. I can see Mboimo working 60-something mil because he scored 20 goals last season for a winger. That's Salah-like numbers, right? But those are the kids who are scoring 6 and 7 goals and going for 55 million, even though they're young. Some of them may be English, which there's a tax to that number. It doesn't make sense to me. So let's talk about Sports Max actually, because I saw where Sports Max is going. Is going on the business. That's sad actually. That's sad actually. I am disappointed to see that happens, and I have compassion for the individuals who have lost their job. There are some good reporters. I think Chambers is a really good person. Should land on his feet. Hopefully, but it's a small market. There are only so many jobs available. So when those companies go to business, it's really tough on those individuals. And they're owned by a large corporation. They're not owned by just a small group of investors. They just own them, right? So it's kind of hard to sell it. I mean, it was a Caribbean cable network, not necessarily Jamaica per se, in terms of its coverage and its reach. And it brought a lot of sports that all of us love to watch, except maybe cricket nowadays, because we lose so much as West Indies. But it's very, very sad to see that happens. Don't know where the region goes from there with that situation. Let's hope somebody take them over. And I guess you have to, in today's environment, though, people, it's very, very tough for cable networks. People don't seem to realize that the marketplace has changed materially. You have millions and millions of channels now because YouTube is, I mean, the sports markets are different, right? Because they buy the rights to games and all that and bring it. But in terms of viewership and where people are spending their time, it's not traditional media anymore. It reminds me of the old days. I can imagine what it was to move from an agrarian society, which is agricultural environment, to industrialized and to technology. Some people are going to get left behind. I think cable television is getting left behind, right? Because you see the companies like Amazon, for example, which started as a company that distributes books and now does everything. They're the ones with deep pockets and they're going to take over. And everybody want to buy sports because sports sells and sports is continuous and sports is live. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Does the sports match just go off the air and no one buys it, no replacement? And yeah, Nitro is right. The Caribbean is a very small market and it doesn't have, and here's a problem too. IPTV doesn't help those organizations. In fact, IPTV is killing a lot of companies. IPTV is a killer. I spend a lot of money on cable, actually, a lot. And last time I got my cable bill, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I just buy YouTube TV because this is ridiculous. But then the feed is a little bit slower than the regular cable network. That's why I maintain my cable. I don't like to be behind when I'm watching events. But I may decide to change it because it starts getting to stratospheric in terms of the numbers. Now you're buying your internet along with the TV package, but between IPTV and streaming, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. Oh, B says sports is dead in the Caribbean. I don't know if it's dead, but it's on life support. It's definitely on life support. It's not a good thing. It's definitely on life support. Now let's talk about the Reggae Boyz chances for Time Warner, CC. Yeah, most of them, Time Warner, Comcast, Fios. At least that's in the US. And in the Caribbean, you have Flow and all of that. And it's a little bit challenging for them. And if you're not very futuristic in your thinking and visionary, the time may pass you by, and that business model may become dated. And if you haven't being very proactive in understanding the environment, how things are changing, you're out of business. But Kranky, you and others will help bring on sports market viewership. A lot of people who used to watch the station now on YouTube watching. Yeah, but I think the world is becoming more, if I call it, more niche market, right? It's very niche market. Because a number of you on the channel would love Reggae Boyz football and just love Jamaica football. You didn't care about, some of you don't even care about football anywhere else. So we spend 24/7 talking about it. You're going to watch it. You're not going to watch Sports Max who are jumping between sports or who can't spend that time because they have to advertise. We're not advertising. You're our advertisement. You're the ones who are giving us subscribership and giving us viewership and how people in YouTube get paid, even though the way my thing is going, $1 an hour is not helping me. Am I making $1 an hour yet? I'm not even sure I am, actually. Probably 50 cents after tax. It costs me more money to run a YouTube channel than I make, actually, to be honest. No joking. It costs me more money to run this channel than I make. And I hear some of my friends are saying, some of them have gotten out of the business, actually. And some are saying, you know what? They may have to give this up. 160 per year? No, I meant, well, not 160 per year. But it's not 160 per year. Yeah, you're confused the number, Stuffy. If you make $1 an hour, then at $40 for the week, or 160 per month, you mean. All right? And you can 12 that times that number there. But a lot of people, I'll give you an example. Look at Joy Reid, who used to be on MSNBC and was fired, and she started her own channel. In 1 week, she had 100,000 subscribers, right? And that number keeps growing. You see Gilbert Arenas and his people, they have 1 million subscribers. They probably make as much money at some point as they make in basketball because they already have a profile. They already have a name. And the people who like them are going to go with them. That's why people like Stephen A. Smith, for example, even though he has a big platform at ESPN, they can use their previous profession or their current profession to generate subscribers and generate viewership and generate income, which is a good thing for them. Yeah, I've heard that rumor, but I have no confirmation, so I can't provide that information. I haven't gotten any intel on that around that happening. I could see that happening, frankly, but I don't know. But we'll talk about that actually. So here's what we talk about tonight. Let's come to Reggae Boyz football. We'll talk about the back line, as I mentioned in my description, which is of an aging back line, Pinnock, Lowe, they're both 32. Even Holgate is getting up there at 29, Richard King is younger. And we also have Bernard, who Chris Smith is telling me is now training with Sheffield, and I've been told that he's out until October. So I'm not sure which information is wrong, but somebody's wrong. We have Mason Holgate, who's got his papers. And by the way, people texted me saying, "Oh, Kranky, Mason got his papers." As if me don't know people. Let me just say people. This is not brag about them thing, yeah? But me know them thing a long time ago. Me know when before him getting papers. I know some of these things, but I can't talk about things that I know because some things are given to you in confidence. I've said that numerous times. And some people come on here and give me a hard time. I say, Kranky, go on like him know everything and him this and that. First of all, people, I don't lie, okay? I don't lie. And some of my sources may not necessarily be 100% accurate. But I've said this numerous times. If they tell me you can't talk about, and sometimes they tell me stuff I can't talk about, and I hear it on other channels. And I get upset because I'm like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't tell me anything anymore because you're restricting my ability to communicate, because breaking news is important for channels. So people go to people with breaking news. Like you see them go to Fabrizio Romano, who everybody quotes because he has contact with all the agents for all the players. But I get information, people say you can't talk about it, and then I hear it's been talked about, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, right? But I knew about Mason a while ago. So yes, he has his papers. And when what's his name mentioned, when they mentioned about his mom and all that, I don't think that was cool actually. About his mom being the bottleneck for the process. I think one has to be very careful about what one communicates in the public domain. Very, very careful. You could kill a relationship by saying something. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of killing a relationship. Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. Best friend, bosom buddies. He goes on and says Michael throwing himself with yes men. That's why he can't win anything. Michael cutting off for life. Probably about 10 years now. Gotta be very careful what you say, because people may take it to heart, not pronouncing my age, and then it works out really badly. Laugh a lot. There's breaking news today, Kranky. Whole school year. I heard about that city. Whatever. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Let me just say some people. Yes, Conrad. I see King is in. Well, I call it my boy now. I hear that St. Marion. Good thing. I hope King does really well, people. I hope he hit the ball off the cover. I hope he plays brilliantly. Let me just say this to King. I don't know if you watch my channel or not. You have to be more aggressive defensively, King. The last game you played, your hesitation caused that goal. Obviously, your judgment has to be good, but you have to be more aggressive. You can't back off. Against St. Vincent, too, the goal that scored, the guy turned you around. Your position has to be better. That's all I have to say. But I wish you good luck, and I hope you have an excellent time there, an excellent career. I would just say this to you too. Bring enough reggae music. Bring enough videos. Get IPTV, because you don't need it. I've been to Scotland. I still manage a team that was based in Scotland, people. Lord have mercy. Me not have no intention to go back. I say, go back? Me not. Me still go Edinburgh very regularly, once every 4 weeks, because I had a team up there when I worked in London. I will be honest, not you may be Scottish and beat me. Me never like it. If he's back in the 16th century or 17th century, Lord. After no, me start feeling pressure. Hey, if you're done place there, you better King, bring your girlfriend to my youth. Bring your girlfriend with you. No matter we didn't take that people the King. If you want to party, it's what the Mendy. Bring your girlfriend with you. Bring your one from Jamaica. That's all I have to tell you. So I'm not going no further with it. Just say bring your girlfriend with you, my youth. Don't do them thing there. Yeah, Mason's eligible, and the question is gonna be who sits, because 3 people, Bailey and Gray and Mason, play same position. Yeah, Conrad, you can say it again, Conrad. You can say it again. I always felt strange going to Scotland. I'm telling you, people. And by the way, my history In my family someplace, somebody come from Scotland. Way back in the day. Go check the DNA thing. So yeah, but we don't enjoy the Scotland engagement. And then the question is, so I have like 6 things to talk about. One is the aging centre backs. The youngest one, King, obviously, and then we have Holgate. But Damion and Pinnock are 32 each. Mason Greenwood, finally eligible, change allegiance, ready to go. Then he will compete. Well, he now compete. Then Graham Bailey compete for the same position, or the coach put him at centre forward and play Graham Bailey. Why? We'll see how that happens. In the back, and should we play a back 3 or back 4? Because we're supposed to get another player. Maybe not this window, but next window, which will make it a little more complicated. So should we play a back 3 or back 4? Give the player we all get, who also is a defender. And it's not like Kelly. Can the midfield find creativity without Ravel Morrison? And it was, and I'll talk about that quite a bit, because people are like, Kranky, come on here and spread rumor and that thing. I can only tell you what I've been told by good sources when I come on here, right? I'm not making things up. I can't make things up, because then I lose credibility. I'm not into losing credibility. Another question is, does Steve McClaren need assistance after some of the questionable calls that he has made? As people mentioned that they're Coley coming in. I haven't heard that, so I can't talk about it. And then last but not least, are we on schedule to qualify, or is history going to repeat itself since '98 where we don't, right? So let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. Let's go to the first point. First of all, before I go further, hit the like button. Don't skip over don't skip over the, because at 160 out here, and I only see, I wonder if my thing go dark star. Can you guys see me? Wait, what's happening here? I am watching myself on my iPad, and my picture is dark. That makes no sense to me, because I'm seeing myself. Let me know, guys, if you can see me. It's my iPad. I don't know what's happening here. This is weird. Very, very weird. Obviously, advertisement I'm having. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, you guys can see me? I don't know what's happening, because I try to view the comments on my iPad, and right now I'm getting a blank screen. Anyway, maybe it's just my screen. Hit the like, people. We have 167 people and only 102 likes. I shouldn't have to ask if I like, because you come in the chat and you saw the button, you know, and press the button. Now, as I've said numerous times, there are few of you who will never hit the like button. I know who you are, right? I know who you are. I know who you are. You don't have to hit it. I know you're not going to hit it. You don't have to hit it. But most of you should hit the like button. Okay? Conrad said 60 at JFF are close to them. What does that mean, Conrad? I don't get that. Don't barely distract us from our mission. I'm not sure what that means either, Michael. You guys got to elaborate on those comments. Hussein said, Ravel start McLaren. We need to do what? No Jamaican born coach, that coach at this point. Miguel coach not good. Wow. Hey, Kiwani, how do you know that? I don't know what his abilities are. He's been overseas for a while. Michael says, we need to encourage Leon to avoid the limelight. What does that mean, Michael? What are you alluding to? Odell says, Bailey going on the bench, no moving around to please players, right players in right position. Green plays same position. I think the coach does move people around, though. He moved Gray around to bring Cephas in, right? So he's going to move people around. Ravel, for captain, what? Captain and what? The team that doesn't make the cut? Because the team is going to be in. So I don't think he's going to be captain anything, actually. But this is the current Concacaf groupings. For many of you who should know this by now. This is the groupings. And the way it's set up is it can be better for Jamaica, right? Look at Group A. All 4 teams in Group A, I say, is probably the toughest zone. Well, Jamaica has been given as easy a zone as possible in all the groupings. It couldn't be better for Jamaica. I'm not saying the teams are easy, because I know people like before the game or Andre gonna beat me to saying that. But if you look at the zones, El Salvador, decent team. Guatemala just made the semifinal of the Gold Cup. Suriname import a lot of players. Strong zone. Panama is the best team in the zone. Group C, Honduras has made the semifinal of the Gold Cup. Costa Rica is the number one in that zone, actually. Haiti can bring players from any and anywhere, even though they have their problems as a country. And Nicaragua play decent football. Bermuda, we don't know a ton about, but they came to their zone. Trinidad, we know they have Yorkie, but they've been challenged. They had a major injury in their midfield, who would not be making the World Cup qualifiers. And in Curacao, we know they have Advocat as their coach, and they probably have a Dutch team versus a local Trinidad Suriname team. But having said that, it's the easiest of the three zone by a good distance. And we're told, we're seeing where we have the opportunity to bring players in who have a certain pedigree, playing at a high level, who should be able to help us get to a good place as it relates to this World Cup. So we're in a good place. We're in a good spot. We have a good team. But the team is not playing up to its ability. Now, if you look at the qualification for the World Cup so far to date, we haven't hit the ball off the cover. We haven't been great, right? You would think we would have just eased through the zones that we're playing. We played Dominican Republic. We played Dominica. We played Guatemala, right? Sometimes we didn't have to leave our house. And we haven't been great, actually. We've won the games, don't get me wrong, but we struggle with Dominica, cricketing nation, with about 2 people in the population, and we struggle with them. Now, the Dominica game, it wasn't our best team, but regardless, and then we're coming off the back of a very poor, not a great Nations League campaign. We made it to the U.S., and then we got embarrassed by the U.S., which led the coach to realize that he needed to get reinforcements, which he has gotten, or which he's getting. And then we went to the Gold Cup, and how do I put it nicely? Stunk up the joint. Just literally stunk up the joint. Awful in the Gold Cup. One of our worst this has to be one of our worst, if not our worst, Gold Cup performance. We won one game, we should have lost. So it was awful. Kranky, Oral Trade said we don't need Green to qualify. I have a comment very disrespectful by these clowns hate overseas-based players. Like, yeah, don't listen to Maverick. Don't listen to Maverick. He's the one copy people's sayings and all that stuff. Don't listen to Maverick. Maverick is not dumb, Maverick is all about Maverick. Maverick's about Maverick. He's about Maverick. Don't worry about it. He's about Maverick. It's all about Maverick. He's not about Jamaica. He's not about the team. It's about him and his brand and his ability to generate capital. That's all. He's not about Jamaica. Trust me. He's not about Jamaica. He's about the one person. That's Maverick. So we're not going to listen to him. We're not going to let him discourage us. He's the one said we can qualify despite the coach. I wonder where he got that saying from. I wonder where he picked that saying from. Somehow he borrows stuff and don't give credit to. That's what he's one of them. Yeah, but Maverick is let's not talk about LSM, people. Let's move on. We're not talking about LSM. LSM is not important. Look at Raider show up on the corner discussion them have every time. But him have been on the corner discussion. Him stay up on him corner and discuss him thing. We're not talking about him. We embrace Greenwood and we support Greenwood. I'm going to DM, hey people, if him have, I don't know if Greenwood has DM, because I haven't really been in anybody's DM, but if he does and you go in people's DM, go in there and big up the youth. Tell him, say we are welcome him. And we are support him. And I full up the stadium. I don't know if I can fly to Jamaica again, because I do my maximum flights for the year. I do 2 already. No, I flip on the plane 4 times already. And I'm in a night flying thing. But Atlanta now, and I train me take come Atlanta people. And it took me 18 hours. So when I really in the flying thing, I only fly if me have to. But you know what? I may come to Jamaica when he comes in September. I have to think about it. So don't worry about Maverick. Maverick I try to make nice. Somebody told me, I won't say who told me, but somebody with a lot of credibility and is very senior in the Jamaica football community told me that Maverick say he not believe half what him say. People, when we say something, people think me I make it up sometimes. You can't make these things up enough, people. Instead, the man not believe half what him say sometimes. Big up, Master Kranky. Are you broken now? No, man, we don't. Hey, people, we can't broken. We can't. People tell me why me can't broke. Don't tell me why me can't broke. Unless me get sued, tell me why me can't broke. People don't tell me why me can't broke. And I mean, I'm brag. Me can't broke. Me not rich, You know why me can't broke people? Me ask every time why me can't broke. Me can't broke. If me broke, I can somebody sue me and take all my money. Accountant, that's part of it. That's part of it. That's part of it. So me tell people, here's why me can't broke. Here's why me can't broke. Unless somebody sue me or them rob when me keep me asset. Me can't broke. Two things. One is me don't over leverage myself. Means I me now borrow money. Me not borrow money from nobody, but a banker otherwise. Unless me buy a house, that's it. Now buy money from buy no car. Me now borrow money from a house. Unless the house, me buy the house and me rent out the house, me now borrow it. Secondly, me now spend more than what me have. No, not in pension, because you can't broke with pension now. You have a pension and something going to business. Me now spend what me have. I've never bought a car. I never leased a car. And I've never bought a car on using debt. You know, I buy my car. I see about 4 years to buy my first car. Camaro, 4 years to buy it, and it was a 2-year-old car. I've never bought a new car because I believe it's a waste of money. And you know what I do? I take the money to buy the next car and save it up, forget to buy the next car, so I buy the next car. I'm gonna buy a car I don't need. So me now I'm buying not side girl. We don't give woman. Me not. Makes sense. Me not now hear me. Me not give money to woman my youth. No, sir. Me not boops. Nobody can boops me. You're mad. Woman can't broke me. I would buy a woman nice things, but you can't boops me, master. No. So me can't. If what you say, boy, me can't go Jamaica, me broke. That nah. First of all, to come here, the train I took cost 2 times. Is 2 times the first class price to come here on the train. Me just said that. Come Atlanta. Because I took the private car. So it's 2 times the price of first class ticket from Atlanta and back than when I took. Because I don't like to fly. So I went to California 3 months ago. I took a train also to go there. It took me 3 days. Me hate flying, man. And it costs more than first class if I could take it. And I brag myself. I tell you, I don't overextend myself. I used to do the same strategy too. Don't buy what you can't afford and don't overspend. I'm a very conservative. Some people may say frugal. Nah, yeah, I took the sleeper car. Yeah. I took the sleeper car I've taken it to Florida, I've taken it to California, I've taken it to Atlanta. I was gonna film it and put it on the internet, and my camera messed me up. So I spend what I can afford to lose. Exactly. Discretionary income. Me not spend what I need, and me not spend what I have. I'm conservative, man. Me not buy, me not have. So me will never be broke in the traditional sense. And it's not because I'm rich, it's because I'm always I take money serious, people. Some people take, someone, I used to be in the military, right? And I probably save, and I used to make, I'm not telling them I used to make, I don't laugh at me. I can't tell them how much I used to make in the military. It's so embarrassing, they can't talk about it. And I still save thousands of dollars before I left the military after 4 years. Because first of all, you don't have to buy food, you don't have to buy clothes, you cannot save what you have, unless you just like go spend money upon girls and just party with your money. I'm not doing that. I'm going to drink liquor to people. So you have to understand now. If you live a life a certain way, but anyway, we'll go back to the football. You know, I'm not broke, man. I did publish a poll, people. You know, let me refresh the poll. I did publish a poll as to will Jamaica qualify for the World Cup. So far, I have 39 votes. I had the poll written a certain way. I said, yes, because of the coach. Yes, despite the coach, and no. So I said I have 13% because of the coach, 72% despite the coach, and 15% says no. So not a lot of confidence in the coach, people. 72% of us said we're qualified despite the coach. So the coach not do it. And I don't smoke, people. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke any other thing. So people can't say something. Live a very conservative lifestyle. The car I have now, it's a 2013 car. So my car, 12 years old, and every day I say I'll change it. And I'm like, but it's running really well. It only has 80,000 miles. I've driven to Atlanta numerous times. It's never broken down on me. Because in New York, I don't drive that much, right? I drive with other people, or I take public transportation or whatever it is. Not public transportation, but because I don't take the train, but I take like the express buses. So yeah. But anyway, back to the football. So this poll is written, so 39 votes. This poll is in. I'm going to go people and go vote on the poll. I want to see what your views are. 39 votes, and we have 72%. We're going to make the World Cup despite the coach, which is not good, people. So you have no confidence in the coach. Jesus, you're tight, bro. That's why I can't be broke. If you want to call me tight, that's your business. Yeah, I'm broke. No, I buy a lot of stuff though. I buy a lot of stuff, but I don't buy what I can afford. As I said, I don't buy what I can afford. And first of all, my vehicle is a 2013 GX460. Go get one of them cars there. Them Cant Broke down. First of all, I only drive Japanese cars, even though my next car is going to be an American car, but it's going to be a electric vehicle. Go get one of the Lexus, them people. They don't broke down. Don't broke down. And it still look fresh and new and everything. So, and I bought it when it was 3 years old. Yeah, I haven't driven it, actually. Tesla, you're mad, my youth. Yeah, Elon Musk and I see. No, I want, I'm going to buy it next year. Well, I'm hoping to buy it next year. I want Lucid Gravity. That's the one I'm looking at. It's a Lucid Gravity. It has to be. A division. Oh, you mean Eddie Vision? Oh, you mean me see have a poster that about say Roy Simpson will determine whether new Reggae Boyz come in for September. You must want to run a Roy Simpson from Jamaica. I mean, determine. He determine what? He not determine nothing. But he determine. How kind of madness thing? Eddie, how kind of madness thing that? Roy Simpson can't do nothing turn up. Roy Simpson JFF since 2008. You can't tell what I'm coming from Roy Simpson now. Don't make me start. People don't me stop me. Eddie, you know what? Let me change this. I come off it. I come off for that thing there. I get upset at the Guna when they comment there. Go the Guna. I don't know nonsense, man, but don't determine who are coming. No. Go look at the Lucid Gravity, people. Go look at the Lucid Gravity. That's the vehicle you should get. Rivian is supposed to be good, but the bless up Juras. Eddie Guna, nobody with the nonsense, Eddie Guna. Both say Rice Simpson determine who are coming. Rice Simpson have no say what's that means Eddie Guna, if you're saying that means the coach have no say in the team. That means you're gonna satisfy whether it's conspiracy theorists or people who are basically saying the coach don't control the team. So if Rice Simpson not talk about who are coming and him control that, I think that. But then Eddie Guna, if that's the case, then you have a call you out for you. Right, Eddie Guna, you can't have a template or a thumbnail which say Rice Simpson determined, and then if you go watch a video. The thumbnail determines how I should envision what you're saying. So yes, I could misinterpret what you said, Eddie, but if you put that thumbnail out there, and look, all of us put thumbnail out to draw people in, then come on, Eddie, man. Me unfortunately, we have the same conversation, Eddie. Eddie, me and your brethren, Eddie, but we're associates, I should say brethren. He's not determining nothing, Eddie. He shouldn't be able to determine anything. The coach supposed to determine that, Eddie. Come on, Eddie, man. That means the coach don't have autonomy. No, Eddie, if him determine who come in, the coach don't have autonomy. The coach have no autonomy. Then how the coach will win? Then we can't blame the coach. We'll blame Rice Simpson. Okay, if me know people will come, Eddie, and in not come because of Rice Simpson, me I carry 24/7 for my channel, Eddie. Is that going to be Rice Simpson week? Trust me. It'll be Rice Simpson week after week after week. And you know people come and stop them? Joke thing. Plus, they not stop them. Because me and Rudolph, I try to tell Sportsmax that the 5 people who are supposed to come have such pedigree that it makes sense. So right now, stop nothing. But anyway, Eddie, me no want to beat you because Eddie are good people. No beat Eddie. Eddie are good people. But Ryan may have told him that he has indirect ability. Right? Your ability is to make sure JFF not broke. That's what you have to do. Make sure they're not broke and make sure we have money to spend. That's all you have to do. Go get sponsors and sign contingency contract. I've told him, by the way, people, don't sign a contract where I want flat fee I get. JFF, no listen to me JFF, because no life it is I don't know everything. Now if you say me school, I don't know everything. I don't know nothing, but me I tell you no. Don't sign a flat fee contract. But the contract you have must have escalation clauses subsequent to World Cup qualification. So if you make the World Cup, it costs more money, because they get more visibility. Do not sign a contract with no flat fee thing with no sponsor. Because we don't sign enough of them already. All right? Let's go back to the football, people. Because we have been digressing and going over the place to talk about my lack of finances, I'm tight, I'm frugal, and all that sort of stuff. Now, previously, so you see the list, right? You see the list of where we are? the easiest zone by a good distance, right? Now, let's go to my 23 that I had before that I've shown up about who I believe should be the 23-man squad. I would love to see a Dwight McNeil. It's a wait about 5 people. I'd love to see a Ramsey, a McNeil, a Jonathan Rowe, all those players, but I like Kelly. Not sure they might come. One or two of them one may come later on, maybe not this window, definitely. But there was supposed to be 5. It's not going to be 5. It'd be a miracle if it's 5. It's past 5 possible, but not probable. There's degrees there. Now, as it relates to the agenda that I have, Pinnock and Lowe are both 32 years old. Pinnock is very, very injury prone, people. And you know what happens when you get older, when you pass 30? Your body start not acting right, It's a good thing, though, that we have, Conrad, no Ravel. It's a good thing, though, that we have Holgate, but I don't like Holgate and Lowe playing together. They're both the same in terms of the temperament and how they play. They're both susceptible to getting booked with a yellow. Lowe will beat you until I say, well, I'm not getting a red card. But if you look at the team that we have here, I have 8 defenders? Well, no, this is the wrong list, people. Let me pull up the other list. General Johnson should not be here. Let me pull up the wrong list. Let me list here. Wrong list me have up. I was playing with the list, and I messed it up. General Johnson was in midfield. I'll find the other list I may have. I'm taking another list there. I'm forget about that list there. I had the list the other day. I don't know what I did. I pulled up the wrong list a while ago. I was playing around, making some changes, and I looked like I messed it up. General Johnson is a midfielder. He's not a defender. Should not be there. I try to find the other list someplace, somehow. I'm placed it up. But the point I'm making is this. We have 4 center halves. King, Holgate, Pinnock, and Lowe. My view is that he'll probably start Lowe and Pinnock, but I'm very concerned about players who pass 30 and their durability. And I think it's going to be between now and next World Cup or qualifiers. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 of them drop out because of injuries, because Pinnock is injured almost every season. And I'm sure that's why he missed sometimes he missed some of our games because he's trying to manage his body. And he wasn't the fastest anyway, so it makes it even more difficult. We could use Lati, as Owen is saying. Look, I think I've said Lati's our best defender, and I truly believe that. In the current team, I think Lati's our best defender. Our most physical player. People think low physical, Lati physical, not smart way though. Right? Lati get enough yellow card, but Lati not get no red. Oh Lord, nowadays says King, Holgate, Pinnock, and Lowe not good. Nowadays, you can't say the players are not good. They might play professional football. There are levels to the game, so you may say they're not at the level that you think they should be, but you can't say they're not good. Because I don't know what not good mean. Now this person no player saying they're not good. Players them can't play football, they might get paid for play. All of them. Pinnock is a good player. Pinnock's body is just not working as it should. Lowe is a decent player, but sometimes Lowe is very, very rash. So is Holgate. And King is learning the game. But they're what we have, people, so we have to work with it. I think he'll start off with Lowe and Pinnock. I have no problem with those 2 center halves, actually. Right? All right, gentlemen. I have no problem with those 2 center halves. On the right back position, I think we'll have Max. Hopefully, we get his papers. If his club release him, they're going to get him, pick up his papers at Jamaica. And Lambakisa should be there. Lati could be playing there also. And on the left, we'll have Amari Bell. But I think Rico Henry will probably replace him if he does come in. Okay, that's so much better nowadays. And you got to say, for certain international teams, because they're good for certain teams, maybe not for certain teams. So nowadays, it's a better language, sir. Thank you for changing the tone of your language, because those players can play, but they may not be at the level we need to dominate. Because they can compete in this region, but they may not be at the level we need to dominate the way we want to dominate. Give them their pedigree and where they play. I don't think it's a heart issue, I think it's sometimes a technical issue. Sometimes it may be a mentality issue. I don't think it's a heart issue. I think all those players have heart. Look, when you play championship football or League One, or when you play at England, people, you have to have heart to play football. People don't know how physical those games are, right? You have to have heart to play football. And most of those players are playing, even Lowe played MLS, then play Egypt, then play in the Middle East. He's played quite a bit of different places. Blake has been playing very good football for a long time in MLS. And someone reminded me the other day, or informed me that he had a chance to go to Eredivisie, which is in Holland, and decided not to go because of family reasons. So yeah, no, they're good players. They just have to be set up in the right system, and they have to perform up to their ability. Nowadays, as I point in at people, which is I would play Bell as the left center back. I don't know. I just feel like Bell is suspect defensively for some reason nowadays. Now I know he played in the back three when he was previously when he played in the Premier League. His team played a back three, but when I watch him, maybe he doesn't have enough help on the left side because the coach didn't have a balanced team in terms of how he set up the team. But yeah, that's a difficult one. I'm not gonna go through the entire team, but if we just talk about a team, I think the best back four, frankly, is gonna be Aaron's, Lowe, Pinnock, and Rico Henry. Right? To me, that's the back three. And then we go to the midfield, and then we'll have on the bench Lembakisa. We'll have maybe Bell, if somebody else may come in, we don't know yet. But Bell is probably going to be there. I think Greg Lee will drop out, to be honest. If you have Rico and Bell, you don't need Greg Lee. And Greg Lee's been a good servant to the team, but I don't think Greg Lee will be there. So on the right, you have Lembakisa and Max here. I think Max is a better player than Lembakisa. I'm playing at a high level. He's now at Rangers. After not getting much time at Bournemouth. And then in the midfield, you'll probably have, from where I sit, I think you got to play Lati, Russell, and Hayden. It's a very strong midfield defensively if you play double pivot with Henry, with Hayden and Bobby, because Bobby run all day. And Russell, to me, doesn't play enough defense. I don't know why the coach doesn't play Russell in the 10. Russell doesn't play defense well, people. I'm telling you, I'm watching him really well. And I think, who calls him out? A gentleman who says a coach, always on the channel, actually. I haven't seen him tonight. I don't think Russell is missing defensively a lot of times. Not sure it was the weather in the States or not, but he's scoring a lot of goals, and you want to tend to score goals, and you want to tend to set up goals. So, but I think it's the forward line where we should be more. Look, the midfield has to get the ball to forward. And I was told that Ravel will not be in the squad. That's what I was told. Now, that may be false information. I don't think the person who told me was trying to carry false information. But I was told that Ravel will not be in the squad. That's what I was told. By a good source. Or they don't expect Ravel to be in the squad, given what they're hearing. And I had a discussion with somebody, and I got the sense that there are a number of individuals who are in the hierarchy who don't have the same view of Ravel as we do. A lot of the people in the chat here, including yours truly, are very perturbed that Ravel is not selected more or given more game time compared to others who are afforded that. And the question, we haven't been given any information about whether or not there's issues in the camp with Ravel. Chris Williams says, "Oh, well, go on Dexter, I'll ball in the next year once you consider about that, Ravel." No, we're not knocking Dexter, I think Dexter's bounced around a lot between being at Wolves, then going on loan in Scandinavia, back. He's not being settled football-wise, but he has ability. I think he has more offensive ability than he's shown, but we have to defend so much on the right side because our right winger and our right midfielder don't play enough defense to protect our right backs. Our right backs in games get killed because everybody focus on the right side of the field because they know we're not the best over there. But sometimes it's not the right back, Sometimes it's the right winger and the right midfielder who are not doing their jobs defensively. Right? I agree, Owen. In fact, he's better than every midfielder in the team as far as I'm concerned. Not just local. I think he's better than all midfielders that we have. Period. Every single one of them. Now, is he fit? Both mentally and physically? That's the question. We're going to get to the forwards, Michael Wilburn. We'll go to the forward then. Because the forwards can't play football unless they get the ball. So we can't just lob the ball up top and hopefully get to his destination. We have to play the ball through the lines to get us to his destination, which is the forward to then try to score. And for us to do that, people have to be comfortable in the ball. So I think that's where Max Aaron's come in, because Max is comfortable in the ball. And that's why I think Max is a better right back than Lambakisa, even though Max is not the best defender. He knows a defender right back. But he's good on the ball. He's comfortable on the ball. I think 1 year he won Young Player of the Year in the championship. So he's a good player, and he was at Bournemouth, though he didn't get much playing time because they changed how they play. And now he's at Rangers. We'll see if he get playing time at Rangers. But he's a good player. So if we have Max on the right, the question for us, who's going to play the right midfield? Is that double pivot with Hayden and Bobby, and play Bobby on the right to manage the element, the defensive element? Oh, how does that work? Yeah, but Russell is a better goal scorer than Bobby at this point. You go watch Russell playing. Russell, what? Since he come back to us, he's had to score at 3 goals. I think he scored in the Unity Cup, and he scored in a couple of goals. He scored against Guatemala and Jamaica, and he scored in the Gold Cup. So he's scoring nowadays, and he scored quite a bit of goals for Burnley not Burnley, wherever he played for this year. He scored a number of goals this year. So now he's scoring goals. What's up with Kemar Roof? Before we come to that, God, I said, Kranky, why should Jamaica select a midfielder who plays in the 3rd division? That's a good question. The girls them stick, because that player is not playing in the 3rd division because he's not a good footballer. Right? We can't conflate where the player is playing with the player's ability. We know what Ravel brings to the table. We know Ravel's ability. We don't need anybody to tell us that he's playing 3rd division, because we know he's playing 3rd division. In fact, he was playing on the beach. I still would bring him in the squad versus some other players that we have. And we can't use that hypocritical argument about where he's playing, because we brought Antonio in, who didn't play football for 6 months. Just came for injury, and we still put him in the team. That's the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen. And we love Antonio. He's a great servant to the country. He is, he tries to put out his 110% whenever he plays. But let's be fair. He was out for 6 months, and he still played. Bobby Reid was out for a month, and he still played. So, yeah. We can't, yeah. Give me 1 second, people. We can't be hypocritical and say, well, he's playing 3rd division. He's playing 3rd division, and therefore he should not be called. We know what he can do. We don't need anybody to show us what he can do. We know what he can do. I would say this, though. There are people in certain hierarchical position, and if they're still there, and they will be there, Ravel ain't playing. I don't see Ravel being in the team. I'd be very surprised. Unless you guys can influence it. If all the fans populate the JFF site and populate whatever the coach have with the view that the fans cannot believe that Ravel is not in the team, given our midfield deficiencies, then who knows? I guess it was done once. I'm not sure it's going to be done again. Ravel is our best midfielder. Ravel is our best midfielder. Period. I don't care what anybody says. No, you cannot convince me otherwise, because I've watched all of them play for a good while now, and Ravel is our best midfielder. I know Russell's come on really well. I know Russell's scoring goals. I see totally of Russell's game. The only person who is extremely comfortable with the ball and doesn't feel pressure in the entire Jamaica team is Ravel. Maybe when Mason Greenwood come, he'll be like that. But Ravel doesn't feel pressure. Everybody else feels pressure. As soon as they get pressure, I'm turn fool. Not for them. I hate to put it that way. Mothersill is in the spotlight. Mothersill is in contention, I should say. It goes to Ravel, no good again. Okay. I totally disagree with that. I don't think that should be done. I don't think Ravel is our savior. Hey, man, we're not talking about saviors. We're saying, if you have a 23-man squad, why is Ravel not in the squad? Oh, Paul Edwards is here. So Paul Edwards was the one who's saying that Russell doesn't play defense. Right, Paul? Ravel, you're mad. Ravel, wash up. So, Paul, who in the midfield is better than Ravel, Paul? Let me see. Let me see what you have to say. Before the game says, Kranky, what is the optimal starting lineup that maximizes Jamaica's strengths, covers weaknesses, and best positions the team to win, regardless of the specific game plan? If I was picking the team, it's a tough one actually, right? So I would probably have. I don't know, people gonna get upset at me. I'd have Blake in goal. I would have on the left Rico Henry, on the right Max Aarons. I would probably start Lowe and Pinnock in the middle, even though people like Chris Smith are gonna beat me that Holgate is better. But to me, Holgate and Lowe are the same. They're interchangeable. I would either start either of them. To me, doesn't really matter. In the midfield, I would start Hayden. I would start Bobby Reed. And I'd find, and it's either Ravel or Russell, because I do want to be balanced defensively, extremely balanced defensively, and don't give up any goals. And right now we struggle defensively as it is. It's not like when we're under Argrimson. And then we get to the front line. I'll tell you the front line when I get to my comments on Greenwood. So in the front line, we have 4 players. Actually, take the center forward at the spot. We have 3 players for 2 positions. Because Tifas is not in my number, right? You know something? The girls them state. If you hear in the UK them talk about Rashford, it's the same concept, right? He hasn't played any good football in a while. Yet Tuchel still call him in. People know quality when they see it. That's what I say. Mr. L. Kranky, Military G says a little girl told him that Mason Greenwood would not come until we qualify. What do you think of that? That's not my understanding, so I don't know. If he doesn't come, he has no excuse. It's possible because he could have come already, given that the hold-up was not on the JFF side or on Pika side. Part of the hold-up was on his side, right? In terms of getting the final documentation to apply for his passport and his citizenship. So he has a decision to make. We may not qualify, so he may not go to work if he doesn't come. We're counting on him to help with the qualification, even though I hear that Liquor Shotman said that's may not happen. But in the forward line, look, to me, this forward line, the starter should be either Antonio or Kemar Roof. People are going to say, what the hell get Kemar Roof? We put him out of a hat? I think Kemar Roof is better than Brown, and he's better than Burrell. That's just my view. I think he's better than both of them. He's a good footballer. And if he's available, we should call him in, and either he or Antonio. Here's my concern, people. And we'll see if we have double standards in this whole thing, which we know we do. Antonio doesn't have a club. He may get a club between now and September, but he doesn't have a club. So if he doesn't get a club, but he's working out, is he in the squad? Because he won't have a team. How does that work? Yeah, I haven't heard that Greenwood's not coming, so I can't speak on that. You heard on TVJ today, they said that his allegiance has been changed, so there's no excuse for him not to come, unless he's injured. Devon Porter says, time and space give you quality, and Ravel always have created space to with the ball. Yeah, Ravel, I don't know what Paul Edwards is talking about, you know. Hey, Paul? Because the person who told this to me was also a coach, right? And the people who are coaches will tell you that you YouTubers and other fans don't know nothing about football. And it's going to sound really bad. Sometimes I wonder if it's the other way around. Sometimes I wonder is why our players struggle to be good because they can't coach. Seriously, people. Sometimes I have to laugh and say, you know what? Maybe you guys are the problem. When people are talking to me sometimes, I listen to them and all. I say, do you know what you're talking about? Seriously. Yeah, coach people, kids. And you tell me which player good and which player not good. And some players, yeah, tout. I say, me watch them play. They're not ready. And yeah, tout them, you know. Whether it's self-interest or for otherwise, I watch them and say, it makes no sense to me. Now, I will agree, I'm not a football aficionado. I don't know everything about football. But I know enough to be dangerous. And I know what good looks like. I really do know good. I know a good player when I see it. Can call it out all the time. When people are beating, I'm going to give you an example. This is me toting my own horn. I have friends in England. And when they were all getting upset that Arsenal pursued Raya versus Ramsdale, I was laughing. I was like, it looked like you guys just watch football and just, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, because Ramsdale used to make an error every game. The thing about Ramsdale errors were he wasn't getting punished for them. Either a defender would save his butt, or the forward on the other team would make a mistake and not score. But it was so obvious to me that Ramsdale was overrated. Good shot stopper, but he was awful with his feet and keep making mistakes. Raya comes in, people cuss him, he was bad in his first game. Right now, he's a world beater. And I've seen that with numerous players, right? You can make a mistake on a player. That happens. You see them in certain environment, they look good, and they get in another more difficult environment and they struggle. But sometimes, when you watch Ravel play football, people, I don't know what you guys are watching. When you say you can't, I'm not good at this and that. What are you watching? I had some highlights of Ravel making plays, and I'm like, this is not normal. This is not normal. But they're so subtle, they're hard to see. Hard to see. You guys have Ravel of years in your mind. Ravel is not playing a league lower than our JPL. So, Paul Edwards, is there any player in the JPL better than Ravel? So, Paul Edwards, let's say he's playing a league 10 times below JPL. That's like talking about Ronaldinho, that he can't walk anymore. He's better than most of the people, a lot of people playing football now, still better than him at his age, at 45 years old. Still can go on the field and produce more than he can produce. So, Paul Edwards, who in the JPL is better than Ravel? Let me know that. Uptown say, Ravel have a pulse in better than JPL. I don't think the Caribbean has produced a better midfielder than Ravel. Period. You may want to go back to Whitmore, Latapi. They have not produced a midfielder better than Ravel, ever. Ever. Now, Ravel has created his own problem, right? We know this. But even when we saw Ravel the other day on the field, even though he was playing deep, he didn't get much minutes, he just made the game look so easy. His instincts are still there. His muscle memory is still there. Come on, people. Hey, I don't know, Tito. I don't know. But anyway, let's go back to the front three. So, people, let me know this. Let me know this. Of the three players, let's say the coach doesn't force people in his team, of Gray, Bailey, and Greenwood, let me know the two you play on the wings, people. Out of Gray, Bailey, and Greenwood, just put the chat, the two you play on the wings. So our 47 votes so far, will Jamaica qualify for the 2026 World Cup? 70% says yes despite the coach. 15 and 15 say yes because of the coach or no. Gray, Greenwood, Gray, Roof, and Greenwood. Yeah, we don't have to put in the center forward because I want to force them that. Gray, Greenwood. So then I'll pick Bailey. Come on, someone my Bailey fan now. I want to beat me if me put. Why is my iPad blanking out? This is weird. Bailey, no. Bailey and Greenwood. Oh, Chris Roman said Bailey and Greenwood. Reggae said many players in DPL with Albus more than Ravel. They can be fit and pass the ball half line and can dribble more than 10 yards. Reggae Boyz reactor, please show me a Jamaica midfielder who has dribbled more than 10 yards in any game in the last 2 years. So we played Trinidad a number of times. Show me a Jamaica, tell me one Jamaica midfielder, Reggae Boyz reactor, who has dribbled more than 10 yards. You see Cavaliers play. You see Jamaica play Trinidad numerous times. You see, please tell me, Reggae Boyz reactor, who dribbled more than 10 yards. Please. You guys watch them more than I do, but please tell me. Just one. And tell me how much time you see Ravel get dispossessed. Show me anybody dispossessed Ravel when he's playing football and he have the ball. How much time he get dispossessed? So you don't say not good. Because the more seasoned people like Reggae Boyz reactor, who's not young, and Paul Edwards, who's a coach, are not Ravel fans. Good question, Odell. Good question. I don't know because Gray don't play no defense. That's why Gray struggled when he was in England. Because in England you have to play defense. I think Bailey does try to play defense on Emery nowadays. But Bailey has struggled to get in the Villa team. But the question is, will Bailey be at Villa going forward? That's the question. Will Bailey be at Villa? Because I'm not sure he will be. They were talking about, I haven't heard anything yet about the old, I've heard anything now about someone just texting that Roof doesn't have a club on transfer market, which is true, but he's fit. So we'll see how that works. If Roof is about what, 32 now? He's 32. Yep, it's 32. He doesn't have a club, but I still like him. Ravel was like a wash-up king. Why in a rough? Ravel has been worse than Bailey for Jamaica. All right, so let's get into this, people. Since no one go there. Please tell me how you doing a comparative between Ravel and Bailey for Jamaica. I'm confused. You compare somebody who play mainly deep to somebody who play on the wing. I don't understand that comparison. If you tell me Ravel is playing and he's not in the game, he can't make a pass, he's turned the ball over, he can't beat a man, that's one thing. But I don't know how you guys do comparisons. That makes no sense. Roof does need a club. Yeah, he doesn't have a club. Someone just texted me about that. Jay just texted me about that. He doesn't have a club. But it's my understanding that he's fit. So he may not be the one. Maybe Antonio. It may be Antonio. Or it maybe have to be Burrell or even Brown. Even though I don't have the same confidence in those players. So let's keep going with the Gray versus Bailey and Greenwood for starting on the wings. I'll be curious to see what people come up with. Come, people, we need more. Antonio don't have no club. Roof not have no club. Enough Jamaican play no club. Brown or Burrell? Okay. Bailey, Greenwood striker, Gray, Cephas share game. We don't start Cephas uptown. We don't start Cephas. Cephas plays his way to the bench. We don't start Cephas. Okay. Jesus help me. Paul Edwards, you have lost all credibility tonight. Let me say this again, Paul Edwards. You have lost all credibility tonight. All credibility. Me can't come with credit. Paul Edwards, whatever credibility you have in the bank and goodwill, you have destroyed all of it with that comment. The JPL is similar to League One. Wow. May I ask this question, Paul Edwards? Do you think Dixon can get into a JPL team, Paul Edwards? Let's do some analysis here, people. What are Paul Edwards? Do you think Dixon can get into a JPL team, Paul Edwards? Hey, Paul Edwards, Mr. Paul Edwards, count to the phone. 347-728-864. Come, Paul Edwards, count to the phone. You need to get beaten tonight. Bad. Call into the program, Paul Edwards. Jesus Lord. People, Paul Edwards is a coach. He's a coach, and he said JPL is League One is no better than JPL. Let me just tell you something, Paul Edwards. Ali Watkins, Tony, Vardy, Pinnock, all those players have gone through League One, Paul Edwards. Please name me the JPL player who has gone to the JPL and starred up someplace overseas in a big league. Please tell me. I'll be curious to know that, Paul Edwards. Please. Because that's some of the information that inform your view about how well a league is. The players who matriculate from that league someplace else. Please give me one. Please. Please tell me. I'll wait for you. Buenas noches. Who am I speaking to? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Kranky.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
It's Omar, General.
Hey, Omar, how you doing?
Yeah, Paul Edwards' brother there.
Him head lick, don't
I want to follow the tour because you don't know where my talk say. You understand?
What's a JPL? League on a better JPL. Right.
Yeah, a madman that. Then where we are saying Dixon them go over there, so go do all of them something there.
But Dixon don't play League One yet. Dixon don't play League One yet, you know. Dixon.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Him could have stayed at Jamaica JPL is better than League One, you understand?
And he started the JPL, by the way.
Yeah, I understand. But my thing is, Kranky, we don't build baller in Jamaica anymore.
We don't do what?
We don't build ballers in Jamaica anymore. Steve McClaren came here, right? And the whole of Jamaica, the whole entire world watch this man say. The man them uneducated. You understand? They need football education. All right, with that said, why everybody are running up and down? We need midfielders and with this and with it. Brother, the man say we don't have the education. The ball, the man has the money, you know. So the onus is on the governing body to select the type of players that they need, will show the qualities, and then invest and educate them here. Send go get the coach them here. The JPL players don't have. When you say them on midfield, them can improve. The ones that have the age,
Right.
you get the technical coaches and you improve those guys. No, we still go with the same problem from way back when. Tell me how we look to the world now.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Because I watch your program because you speak reality. You know, go off of sound bites. You understand? Like when we hear the rest of YouTubers that do. Just to name a few guys like Ryan and the others. Sometimes them go off script, them not stick to the football. It's like a popularity contest for them. Right?
I can't comment on them because I don't want to get no, can't comment on them.
No,
But
I mean, no, I give my opinion.
right.
And this is where we end up with people like Paul. Because they're not seeing the reality of the thing. The thing is that the players are not educated enough in Jamaica, especially in the midfield.
Right.
The philosophy needs to change. The type of coach, you're right about the coaches a while ago. I have personal experience with them, you know. You understand? I used to play at Boys Town one time, under 20. And when the coach was selecting the midfielders, I was one of the best ones.
Right.
And when the man select the team, it take the other assistant coach. It was Tiger at the time, you're supposed to know him. That coach, I think he's an assistant for some junior level in the Jamaica program now. Tiger is a team, coach, what you do? You can't pick all of the Rima man, the man through the one you would come from jungle, you don't pick him, you know. And he's the best midfielder ever. So I know what it is. Sometimes the coaches cannot, it's not that they cannot. They're so one-track minded that the technical players that they need, that they bypass them. Whether the player is not fit enough, get him fit. He's not physical enough, get him there because he has the quality. No, you pick the fast one because him can get up and down the pitch and him can assist in defense when you have the right player that you need, but you don't develop it. And this is the problem that we have. We cannot develop the players here with the philosophy we have in the football. There is no midfield. And I was watching a JPL game and I told them you can barely find midfielders.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that actually. In terms of the struggle is not just the JPL, no, the struggle is the Caribbean. The Caribbean doesn't produce very good midfielders. Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, Kranky. Why is they have all these sponsors and all of that they say sponsor the JFF and so forth. They should be getting these sponsors to get them help with midfield coaches, technical coaches. That is what we are lacking.
Right.
You understand? And you change the whole structure of how you get the young men in Jamaica young men and women in Jamaica to participate. It can't be that even in the school leagues you have to arrive with what you have and you barely get any education to move on. And the ones that get it, you see what they do with it, like Dixon and even what's the other one named for Dixon that went to Chelsea.
Yeah, Whisper.
Right. They take on to what they got. What about the other majority that don't have access to it or the right training? That's how we're lacking, you know, Kranky. Just change the philosophy of the football in Jamaica.
Well, we don't
take a year.
Right. We don't have a technical director for the JFF, right? Who then can oversee the football nationwide and who can then develop and implement a style of play and then can cascade that down to the various levels to then have that being communicated to the coaches who are coaching at different levels, right? So you'll struggle for a while because everybody's going to do their own thing. And if the country and the region have produced midfielders ever, really, at a certain level, at some point you got to realize it's not working. And I keep telling people this, Carla, which is there's one country in the world who produce them like their bread. You know how Jamaica produce bread? Produce them like, and so why aren't you going to that country? Just like Speed said when he went, they follow Belgium, where the coaching in Belgium has allowed them to make significant progress as a nation and have moved them up the ladder, the rankings wise. Why can't we try to get some affiliation there and see what strategy they employ and deploy that in Jamaica? I don't understand why.
I can tell you right now, I've not said it, but you literally take the words out of my mouth. You understand?
Right.
Get the help from where you know. Again, monkey see, monkey do. These people are doing good. What are they doing that's good?
Yeah.
And that is where the money should go. And that is where, and at least, Kranky, I'm saying, I don't know if I'm not thinking about it the right way, but I'm saying the JFF can select 100 young men in Jamaica and say, all right, midfielders who want to what we can do with these people. And you support these people to play football. You don't allow them to do anything else. We must have a good team out of that. The guys are here. They're not dumb. They can be educated. Just place more energy and emphasis on that and stop with all these. We're searching here or we're looking there, but you're not building anybody while you're searching. And the guy is Sule, Kranky. I'm not familiar with him, but I've heard that he's one of the better players in the Premier League. He cannot improve. He cannot look at a similar thing with Antonio Conte. The coach forced this man to adjust his game, and Sule McCullough can change his game, and we have a good midfielder. At least enough.
But McCullough is also is up there in age, so that's also an issue, right? You need younger players who can. McCullough's what, 30?
Oh, that's why I say I'm
yeah. So you need younger players to look. Doesn't mean you can't at 30 you can still have a career going for a while, but you're on the other end. That's on the end of the journey, frankly.
Right, and McClaren, Kranky. This is what he's here for. Get the guys, get the help. While you're not here, they should be. I think these guys, other than their club, they should be in constant training to improve to where we need them to be, Kranky. If they don't get their 100%, at least 60, 75 should be good enough to allow the team to function. Look at Trinidad, we beat up the other day. Look how they play now. Look at Guatemala, how they play now. It is possible.
Yeah, no, look, we'll have to wait and see what transpires given the coaching initiative being undertaken. I think Rudolph did give a timeline for when he expects us to get to a good place. It's not tomorrow or the next day. It's a while from now, right? You're talking about like that 2030, frankly, right? They have a. If you go on the JFF Instagram page, which was on the other day, they have a video that they're running which talks about what they're trying to do from a coaching development standpoint. They have timelines associated with it, so you should go watch. People should go watch a video, and they can track from there till when that time comes as to. And JFF should give status update as to where they are in the whole coaching initiative, actually. Or they should come on programs like this and talk about it, because I do think they should go around the YouTube channel and cascade the message so we can all be better informed. They did have Sports Max, but they can have other conversation around it. They can get more query, and those query may help them tinker with what they're doing.
Yeah, right. And then who is the person that teaches what should I say? A tactical coach in the Jamaica program, tactics and technique.
Well, no, that all the persons who are instructors in the coaching initiative should be teaching those things, right? That should be part of the curriculum, actually, in terms of how they coach and how they teach.
I think right.
Yeah.
I think right now that is where our money should be heading. That is what we need.
Well, no, if they go through the curriculum that they have, which most countries go through, which is you get the C, B, A, and the pro license, right? Right. Everything, the totality of football and how football should be coached is incorporated in those curriculums, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I was talking before the game, and he was giving me a hard time that I don't spend enough time going through the details. And I told him I don't have time to go. I'm not trying to do a C, B, or A license, but you know what? I am going to read it at some point because I do want to see. Because I want to read it for a couple of reasons. One is to learn and to educate myself, but two is to also see if there's any gaps in there that I think they should cover that they're not covering. So I'd be curious to see if you can find gaps in something which is supposed to be foolproof. But the whole thing is to learn, because each of us should probably read it and understand it. And also, all the people in Jamaica who are coaching, I don't think anybody should be coaching high school football unless they have an A license.
Right? Yeah. When I went to Morning Couple, do you know that the coach said to me, Omar, I want you to play right back. I said, no, coach, you can't play right back. And I want to play right back. And when I went there in Kranky, no instructions other than generally what is expected. I had to figure it out by myself. I said, yo, listen to me, I'm not do this because you're not helping to make my work easy. I have to try to find out by myself. These are majority of the coaches have arrived with what you have.
Well, my understanding that things have gotten better, right? That coaches have improved. I think Speed mentioned how many A license and B license, and that they are now. And what he's also talked about is the class in the classroom. They learn so much, which before they were just winging it, right? People just do it based on what they were taught before. Now you have a much more formalized environment they're operating in. They're getting more instructions that ties into or leverages what's been done across the world in a more structured program. So the curriculum should really help them to teach kids both mental and physically what they need to do and tactically, which will help them going forward. As you're saying, we weren't coached before. You just never roll out the ball until if you do X, Y, Z. You weren't really coached. You're not being coached. You're not being guided. Information is not being communicated a certain way. They just do things that they learned before, which, as Rudolph sort of mentioned, they won because somebody had to win. So somebody had to win and somebody had to lose. So yeah, it wasn't a very structured way of operating.
We see how it goes still. But that's how mine grows with the team. Me think we really need to just change the philosophy and prepare. But as it pertains to the World Cup right now and the midfield, I really don't know where they're going to go. But one thing I know is that there is no way on this earth you have a player like Ravel Morrison and not have him in the team, looking how it is now. That's stupidness, simple common sense.
Well, there are some people who believe that Ravel has passed his prime and should not be afforded the opportunity to play for Jamaica. I don't agree with them.
Prime or not, this man has played far, far higher level than everybody on the team,
Well, he hasn't played a higher level than Livian. He's played Premier League football like Leon has played, right? So Leon has played at the highest level because Leon has played Champions League too. He hasn't played Champions League. So Leon has played at a higher level, if you want to call Champions League the highest level possible. But from a league perspective, Leon played Premier League, he's played Premier League. But Ravel has been lauded by many a footballing expert as a unique talent. His talent hasn't matched his performances in total or his achievements. That's without debate. But part of it has been who he is and how he operates. I don't think it's been his true ability. Yeah, it's not been his ability, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah, man.
But given his experience he has gone at Kranky, he should not be out of his team. And if he's if it is that he's not fit enough, Regin, somebody must can motivate this person.
Yeah.
And I think the motivation for this person is the Jamaican people. It's obvious. So I've seen interviews with him. The man loves Jamaica. Make the people motivate him. Put him in front of the camera. Make him talk. Say, Bridget, all right, here we go on. Give him some responsibility top on top of it.
Right.
Make him say the Jamaican people, yo, Bridget, you have a hype on you, do goodbye with. Because I truly feel him on the goodbye with.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, man.
That's my bro, son.
Thanks so much for the call, sir. Yeah, man, bless.
All right.
Reggae Boyz reactor. Yeah, coming like Pat Edwards tonight. Well, on a lose credibility. So you're saying, how did you just look against Mexico? What does that have to do with the slice of bread, Reggae Boyz reactor? What point are you trying to make? You're trying to make so the midfield is a global problem, a Concacaf problem. What are you trying to say, Reggae Boyz reactor? Because second of all, someone can say the US had no Weah, they had no Pulisic, they had no Reina, they had no McKenna. What are you trying to say? And I use Jan Paul was saying no football genius. Oh, Lord help her now. I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah, I don't think Paul is only local players, but I think Paul is talking like that. Paul Edwards' comment about JPL being equivalent to League One or better than League One tells me, and Paul says a coach from Jamaica says everything about the people in Jamaica who believe that they're big-time coaches. He's indicative of the problem, not the solution. Yeah, I don't understand. I apologize to this caller. Good evening. Who am I speaking to? I was going to call you back, actually, but go ahead.
Yes, Tommy. I was watching your program the other day about Rudolph.
Yes.
And
who's speaking?
Tommy.
Tommy? Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah. And I was thinking, and I was listening when he was talking about the coaching education,
Right.
and an idea came to me, and I was wondering why. Because you can go out and buy football programs.
Yeah. You can buy a lot of
Yes,
stuff.
you can buy football. So I was saying they could lobby Spain, Belgium, even Argentina, and then they can go to the Minister of Education and make a curriculum and teach in GC Foster.
Well, no, they have their own curriculum that they've developed
Yes,
based
but
on.
the reason,
Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
the reason why I say GC Foster, those are the coaches is gonna deal with the younger kids.
Right.
Yes, because they're the one who teaches in the primary school and in the high school. Which
Right, I
which
mean, you
it
mean
will
that when they
become.
leave GC Foster, they go teaching some of those?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
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 So
No, that's a good point, actually. So your questions or your perspective is the coaching program that they put together to coach
yes,
individuals who are interested in the coaching in Jamaica getting licensed. Why isn't that
yes.
being cascaded through the schools that have
A physic-
physical education as part of their curriculum?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Because if you check the history, that's where we get a lot of our good coaches from, track and field coaches.
that is true. That is true.
So why you don't put football inside there too?
I'm sure they may have it. The question is, what's the curriculum look like, right? I'm sure it's there. The question is, what the curriculum look like, and do they incorporate a lot of what is being taught in these courses? Here's a point. It's a great point. Here's a point, actually. I'm gonna extrapolate what you're saying to say this.
Yeah.
Why can't you get your license at GC Foster by utilizing the same curriculum in coaching
Yes.
football? It should be part of the program, and you should be able to. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Because JFF could lobby the Minister of Education.
Yeah, well,
they put the program together.
It's a great point, and it's something that I'm sure they'll consider because they do watch the program. They'll think about it.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't know if they do that now, but it's something to be. In fact, you should be able to get to B license and C, whatever license are. You're right. Yeah. You're right. It's actually a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Because track and field is teaching there extensively, but not football.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All of these high school coaches now come out of the track and field coaches come over there. But you hardly see a football coach come out GC Foster.
No, it's I don't know who graduated from GC Foster in terms of where they pivot to when they leave in terms of physical. I'm sure they probably teach all the different sports when they go to a high school. But the point you're making is you can get licensed through the school.
Yes, but most of the track coaches now,
right,
came out of GC Foster.
Yeah.
Yes. So the same thing could go for football.
Yeah.
If you put a good program together.
No,
you buy the program and you teach it there.
Well, they don't have to buy one; they already have one, right? So all they have to do is have that curriculum being taught at GC Foster. Actually, they don't have to buy it; they already have it. They have leverage. They work with Trinidad. They have leveraged Trinidad. The program that Trinidad has been approved by Concacaf at a certain level. I don't think it's been a pro license level yet. So they could, and as Rudolph mentioned, Concacaf will be looking at their B license program to see if it passed the requirements. So as soon as they get that accreditation, they should be able to have that being taught. They could also be the instructors at those schools, actually.
Yeah. The American program, they took a bit from Argentina, they took a bit from Belgium, and they took a bit from Spain.
Right.
That's the American program.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how they source the program that they have. Yeah. But I assume that anybody who's going to develop something like that will want to see what others are doing along with their own perspective of what they
Yeah.
need, and make sure they put together something which is comprehensive.
Yeah, because I'm living in Canada,
Right.
and that's where a lot of the Canadian coaches go to in
Okay.
America to get their license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Rudolph mentioned that people from the U.S. also want to come to Jamaica to try to get their B license when they're teaching it. So, but you're making a great point, which is this being taught in schools like GC Foster, which has a focus on physical education? And why couldn't you get your license through that process or through that program? I know there's a practical part involved in terms of coaching. So they could get you being affiliated with a club. If you're in GC Foster, you don't have a club, to make sure you can do the practical component of it. It's something we thought about.
Yeah, because those teachers are the first youngsters. Those teachers, they're the one who gonna teach those youngsters first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So appreciate it.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents there.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you hear that, call people? I think it's an idea which is, hey, Rudolph, if you're watching the program, 'cause I know you watch it sometime, not all the time. That's an idea that should be considered if it's not being considered already, which is where physical education is taught in the colleges or schools after high school. Why wouldn't the coaching program that you have now be taught in those institutions to enable you to have coaches who are going to matriculate to, when they go into the working world, to coach at these high schools and maybe these primary schools? Why wouldn't they can get some of their license up to a B or if not A license? Because they're going to do 3 or 4 years of college, right? And those programs probably have similar timelines. So why couldn't that be part of the curriculum for them? So you could produce a lot of coaches. Spain has tons of coaches, people. Could produce a lot of coaches through that process. So that's something that really should be considered and shouldn't be dismissed, since the objective is to produce as many qualified coaches as possible. Really important. I see people here advocating for Lambert in the team. I'll be silent on that one. I thought we were moving forward, not backwards, but hey. And I've seen some players play. I'm not sure they're ready. But let's go back. Let's tell people we haven't finished the question, I know, about the decision between the two of three. I see most people have a Gray, Greenwood versus something else. Is that optimally our 2 best wingers? I hear people talking about Greenwood also and his qualification, and Roy Simpson need to approve. And I've been informed that he don't have citizenship yet. So a lot of times you get conflicting information from different parties. Let me say this. Greenwood will qualify by the time September is. The question is, does Greenwood want to come? And does Jamaica make sure the association change get done? Period. We have so many sources with so much information, and sometimes it's not all accurate. And these are supposed to be credible sources. And it gets frustrating, to be honest. Reggae Boyz said Jamaica coaching requirements are increasing as more coaches get trained. They are shooting for a pro license coach at the minimum JPL and all national team. It takes time. No. Reggae Boyz right there, we know this. Nobody's saying that's not the right direction. Nobody's saying that people shouldn't be lauded and commended in terms of what they're doing. What we're saying is that if GC Foster is a college which produces individuals who are involved in physical education, and they're supposed to go out and teach at the primary school or high school level, then and football is a big part of the sports in Jamaica, not just track and field, why wouldn't they be educated so they can provide that knowledge and disperse that knowledge and distribute that knowledge to, communicate that knowledge to the individuals they're going to be coaching when they leave college? That's all. And I think it's a great idea. That curriculum that's been now put in place for coaches in Jamaica, GC Foster should be part of that process. And all their students should go through it. All their students who are focused on physical education should go through it. I was talking to Unseen the other day, and Unseen was telling me how rigorous the program is for like the B license and all the things that he has to do, which I thought it sounded very comprehensive. I don't know if he went to GC, but I would think that when you leave GC Foster, at a minimum, you should have at least a B license, maybe even an A. The point is going to be to cascade the island and make sure as many people as possible, or in coaching at every level, have some form of certification. And the most important level to me is between, say, 7 and 15, 7 and 16. You have to have the right coaches. So I don't think anybody who is 12, 13, 14 should be coached with anybody who have less than an A license. I don't. And if you look in Europe, they have requirements. So for junior teams, A license is a requirement. You're coaching on a 17, coaching on a 16. So why wouldn't it be the same thing for us, frankly? Because if you're getting poor coaching when you're a junior, it's hard to break out of bad habits. So it definitely should be that way. Just a reminder, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you haven't shared the channel, please do so. Now, the question is I asked is one thing. So most people are saying Gray and Greenwood on the wings. And then up front, I think that's open because we don't have any surefire forward at this point in time. Antonio doesn't have a club. Roof doesn't have a club. Cameron Archer hasn't gotten his papers. Burrell has a club, but and Brown are they going to be who we are sticking with to be the center forward? Don't know. And can the midfield function without a creative spark? That's part of the problem. There's no creativity in the midfield. Your midfield needs some creativity. I watched PSG today. They have creativity coming from everywhere. It's part of the reason why they destroyed Madrid, because Madrid has no midfield. Or they have Tchouaméni, but the rest of the midfield wasn't functioning. Either they're good offensively, but they're poor defensively. And so you need somebody in the midfield to take over the game, slow it down, speed it up when you need to, and create magic out of nothing. We don't have that. So is Bobby Reed, Hayden, and Russell sufficient? I don't know. Now, here's the last question I'm going to ask for the evening. So the way I see it, I would probably start Gray, I must admit, and Greenwood out wide. The last question is, does Steve McClaren need an assistant to help him, given some of the decisions that we have seen, which have been very concerning today? Does he need an assistant? Or are you guys comfortable with the current coaching setup and coaching structure and believe that's sufficient for us to get through the qualifiers? Very, very curious. So I have more votes. The percentage of people think we qualify is still the same, 71. Well, 87% believe we qualify and 13% believe we will not qualify. Interesting. I think we'll qualify, even though I know to preclude that from happening. You know, Reggae Boyz reactor, sometimes things just go over your head, don't you? It just goes over your head. You can't think outside the box. You are programmed to think a certain way, so we can't have the conversation. Can't have the conversation, Reggae Boy. Okay. I hear you, Henry. I don't understand how Reggae Boyz reactor function sometimes. It's She said there's a coaching program, it's including curriculum. I don't think it goes all the way to. Yeah, but here's a question, Henry. The coaching program they have at GC Foster, how does it relate to what Speed and his people are doing for the coaching seminars they have and the coaching program that they have? Because the two should marry, actually, right? They should be mutually exclusive. They should marry. So if they have a coaching program at GC Foster and they're doing something there, has anyone done a comparison between what they teach there and what's done with the JFF in terms of the development program they have and how they align? I'll be curious to know that. We need a plan without Greenwood. I'm sure there's contingencies being put in place across the board. Yeah, but we don't. Here's the thing, Reggae Boy Reactor. We're so slave to how things have been done before. We struggle to think outside the box and do our own thing, right? We struggle to do that. It'd be no different if you work with a university or the college in this space, whereby you couldn't get a B like you can go out and do something outside of college, and get licensed, right? You could go to GC Foster and on your own, you go take the JFF trading course and get licensed. Why wouldn't you incorporate in the program? I don't understand that. Kranky, what do you think the academy ruined ballers now versus street ball where players develop situational awareness? I feel academy players become mechanical. It's an interesting thing. Girls them state, interesting name. I think people have had that discussion for a while now, especially like to how people learn in Brazil, where the view was that in Brazil up to the age of like 12, 13, 14, you just learn to just play free and develop certain unique skill set, and they put in a more structured environment. While in Europe, you're in a structured environment from 6, 7 years old. I think both can work, actually. But the question is, if you're not in a structured environment, are you being taught bad habits, which you have to go and break when you then get put in a structured one? Because the game is structured. It's just like the NBA, where you see these players play basketball at Rucker Park in New York, and they have all these skills, and they go in a formal environment, and they struggle. Because yeah, even though you're very skillful and very knowledgeable, you're not going to learn certain fundamentals you need to learn if you wait too late in the process. So, but it's an interesting question because in some countries, they prefer to have it that way up until a certain age because you learn better if you become inventive versus being taught mechanically and it doesn't work for you. And in England, they struggled with that for a while until they start bringing more overseas ballers and realizing that, you know what, individual flair is something that you should have versus just playing this structured, standard mechanical football. But it's a good point. It's a good point and a good question. I don't see any Jamaica new members on the FIFA Change of Association platform. I don't know, Henry. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm going to close the program down soon, people. Let me just go through any of the comments before I close it down. I promise not to do any program longer than 2 hours going forward. Okay. Well, they could work around it, Henry, whereby the JFA would issue the license, but they may use their instructor in GC Foster. They could figure it out, Henry. Trust me, you can go around it without. They could work with the JFF in a way to get it done. They could. They just have to think outside the box a little bit. No, I understand, Henry, but they could work. They could work with Speed Group. So you could take a course, like exactly when you go to college, you go to high school, you can take college courses and you get recognized for the credits. They could figure something out. The school could work with Speed's program to get it done. And both parties get satisfied. What else? Can we have Mr. Cody in this team to help, but can I give him much power? And everybody keep talking about Cody because he's the only one who have left Jamaica and gone overseas and he's in those environments. That is the ones I know of that everybody talk about. But do we know how good a coach he is? I don't know. He won in Jamaica in high school, but JFF coach versus a GC Foster coach. I do believe, Henry, it can be worked out where all parties get satisfied in that whole situation. It's not either one of them, and they can't collate them. They can't work together. Right, but I'm saying if GC Foster recognize the coaching and they're comfortable with the instructors, they could have it where those students can go to the course. Not sure how the compensation component would work, where you could actually get a B license when they leave college versus a C license. Let's say you're going, it's like taking A levels versus taking, well, I'm dating myself, right? I know GC, but it's like you're getting an advanced degree. So C may be the regular one GC Foster give out, but you can get the advanced degree. They work with the JFF. They recognize the program. It gets accredited for them in terms of what the college does, and JFF work with them to do it. All parties get satisfied. GC Foster now have a higher level degree they provide as relates to coaching. The Jamaica Football Federation achieved their goal of having more coaches who are accredited and licensed to be teaching or coaching on the island. It could work. I didn't say GC license to start a program, Reggae Boyz, right? Because you don't listen. Football Guru, you don't listen, okay? Henry is trying to point out that they give a equivalent of a C license. My view is that those same individuals could take the courses at JFF, get the accreditation, and GC Foster could recognize it. Please listen, please. Because you guys just think inside the box. You don't think inside the box. you're a slave to the traditional way of thinking. There are innovative ways to come up with things outside the box that allow you to achieve your objective without sticking to the standard way of doing stuff. Please listen. Because after a while, it gets annoying. Seriously. People get in high school, get college credit, which college recognize. How is that any different? Please explain that to me. The high school is not a college, but they can take college courses, which they believe they go through a certain instructive program, a curriculum, which allow them to transfer this credit to college. But they got to engage with the college first to find out, will you take this credit? Can I get college credit for these courses? It ain't rocket science. So you're telling me I don't understand the licensing program and all that entails. Okay, maybe I don't. But at least I understand what logic entails. Anyway, people, I'm going to close this down. Because Football Guru sure knows again under my skin. He's brilliant at it. Absolutely brilliant. It's been a good evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Paul Edwards, you have lost. Whatever goodwill you had before Paul Edwards, you have lost me this evening. I will leave this evening by saying, Paul Edwards says the JPL is a better league than League One in the UK. Lord have mercy. And Paul Edwards says he's a coach, and he's somebody who's known by Football Guru and others who believe they all are football gurus in the traditional sense. Wow. I'm not even put up your last comment, Reggae Boyz reactor. People, please have a good night. please have a good night. I appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button before you leave. Being a YouTuber is a very difficult job. It actually is. And every day I say to myself, really? And you're doing this on a regular basis? Do you really want to do this? Because it can be very painful, people. I'm telling you. I guess these guys don't understand. It's not worth the money. I'm telling you. Whatever money you make in YouTube, unless you're like, well, I talk about, what's his name, Brownlee, all those people are making a lot of money. But if you're making $1 an hour like I do, it does get a little bit challenging. By the way, people, as I said before, I'm supposed to be dropping my website by July 15th, but I have to push back the date again. This is about the third time pushing it back because I found a bunch of things that I didn't like. So my team is working on it. But I'm hoping to drop my website sometime, hopefully by the end of the month, actually. And I hope you support it, people. I hope you go there and read the articles. They'll be on various subjects, including stuff on Jamaica, US, politics, technology, culture, sports. We'll have a lot of topics and a lot of topics. And Paul Edwards is tripling down and doubling down. And that whistle is blowing real hard. But all right, anyone, let me close up by saying, Paul Edwards, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Whatever goodwill you had with me, it got destroyed tonight. Anybody in their right mind who believe the JPL is better than League One, at least the coach doesn't believe that. Jamaica football coach doesn't believe that. But anyway, Woodward, Conrad, Nigel Brown, A. Henry, Drew Ross, Mr. Reactor, Football Guru Paul Edwards, Patrick Riley, Woodward, everyone, Devon, Uptown, Nitro, the girl them Steak. That's an interesting name for telling people. I wonder what that means. Conrad, Chris, everybody who's here, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful evening. Peace out. Kranky life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, tell them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, tell them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my cranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of cranky life. Deal them, cranky life. Heed them, cranky life. Want them, cranky life. If you're from England or a USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Live. Tune into Cranky Live. Like up Cranky Live. Subscribe to Cranky Live. Cranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Live. Me say fi tell them Cranky Live. Me say fi heed them Cranky Live. On them Cranky Live. Cranky Live will be around. Cranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi eat them, me say fi want them, me say fi eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Live, cranky Live, eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Live, cranky Live, eat them, want them, eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky life. Cranky life. Cranky. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Heed. Want. Heed. Want. Heed them.